it's a fact that there's always something painted on the mirror. And well, my theory concerning this is that, you know, if you look into a mirror, let's say the mirror is 2 meters in front of you, you look into the mirror and you see your own face at a distance of 4 meters. You see it as to be 2 meters behind the mirror, okay? So this is one focus. One focus is 4 meters distance. But there's always a second focus, because the line on the mirror, it's always a possible alternative focus. And so on the plane of what is visible, you can switch between your own face. They're always posing the mirror in the way that you can look at your own face. You can switch between your own face and something else. When you switch to the line, your own face is not clear anymore, and you can see something else, okay? But on another level, on the physiological level, and that is very important, that might be very important, you know, it does something to the autonomous nervous system. If your focus is far away or your focus is very close. Because very close is parasympathetic. That's when you're eating, you know, you have a focus at 30 centimeters because you want to see what you're eating. This is parasympathetic. On the other side, when you're hunting or when you're afraid, you see something which is frightening. Your focus is not 30 centimeters away, but 2, 4, 6 meters. Okay, so probably when you're switching the focus, you're switching also between parasympathetic and sympathetic arousal. But that's my theory.
But I think I agree, and in the practice it's like this: they are giving you the mirror in the beginning. And I think this system helps you to enter into the trance, but it's not frightening. You can go there, you can come back. My experience was I was really seeing something else, and then I was seeing my face again. So it was very smooth.
You're able to switch. It's a matter of flexibility. And it's all about flexibility. It's all about change. Well, okay.
Yes. Thank you very much for both your presentations. I have 2 questions. First, will they be on Dropbox, or will the presentations be on Dropbox so that we can look at them again?
If anyone will put it on Dropbox, of course. Whoever can take it from us.
Okay.
Or take it from Dropbox, however.
All right. And the other question is, I liked some of the music very much, and I was wondering if you can help me to listen to it more at home. If you have tour reg music, for example, do you have longer, like CDs or something like that?
Yes. Let's talk about that later.
Okay, beautiful.
But well, I think 90% of the music was recorded by our own. Well, you can get all the long versions.
All right, thank you.
But I was told yesterday that even if you go on Spotify, you find a lot of pretty music and well, but we got a lot of with us. Okay, that's it. Okay, Doug.
Yes. First of all, I want to follow up on that. Jeremy and Joe and Toby, please find a way of making these presentations available for attending, because we in the world needs this information. And I wanted to say thank you, and I think it would be tremendously helpful for Western providers if you could make a series of recommendations about music and movement and things like that, and incorporate those specifically, because one of the things I was talking about earlier is that we need knowledge from both the Western world and indigenous use to truly do this right. So
thank you very much. I'm very glad about that. But because, well, I think it matters what music you use. That's what I try to say. But that's what I think personally.
Yeah, I
yes. Okay. Sorry. Yes.
like Steve Reich or Philip Glass, how do you see that as a? How do you see that as a musician? Is there a close part between Steve Reich, Philip Glass, all the minimal music, and that kind of music? Because for me, it sounds very close.
Sure. I think it's very interesting. And about 10 years ago, we did a small presentation in Vancouver for some people doing techno music, you know. And we had it was extremely interesting to talk to them. I think in techno music, well, I'm not really into that field, but I think in techno music you find all these buzzing sounds, you find all these minimal changes. I think techno music is so much close to this one. And well, some minimal music, I would say minimal music, for example, on the piano alone, it is lacking the frequencies. Yeah. But that's my
But like
my
people
opinion.
like Kuniko Kato, who is playing the marimba phone, and Steve Reich with the marimba phone.
Yes, the marimba phone. You know
it's
the
a wonderful overtone.
That's the marimba is a wonderful instrument. You know, the traditional marimba in Africa has these calabasas below, and you know that in old times they had a hole in the calabash, and this was done consciously, and they put spider webs into that hole to make it snare. You understand? How beautiful is this?
Thank you.
There's a lot of technology to move the sound into this direction.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. Actually, my question was very similar to yours because I spent many years on techno parties, dancing and in a state of trance. And I've been very interested in this topic and actually would like to talk about it later on, maybe more. But I was wondering if you also looked at the sounds of shamanic drums and the rhythms of shamanic drums, and used at the ayahuasca ceremonies, because I think there are connotations as well.
Yes. We like very much ayahuasca ceremonies. Me especially, I like too much the singing.
But do you think that the shamanic drums
and the shamanic drums, it's like the same. It's the rhythm. It's the sound of the drum. It's all the same.
All right.
I thought about incorporating one from ayahuasca, but it was simply too much. Sorry.
Yeah, and I also wanted to say that I found very interesting the part about the initiation with music, that the perception of the music changes after ibogaine, because I would say that my perception of music rapidly changed after an experience of actually LSD and psytrance and MDMA and techno. And I am really curious to once find out if it changed after ibogaine again.
Yes, I think it does. Well, there's one example that I see now from ayahuasca and peyote ceremonies that we saw. You know, when you're doing with the eagle feathers, when you're putting the fire, and you're doing that one, that's the same rhythm. You know, that one, it's the same rhythm, but it's visual. It's the same theta rhythm. It's so beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
You're right, yes. Okay, good. Okay, sorry.
Perhaps we can speak also afterwards. Anyone who wants music, you can respond.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so last one. I just wanted to ask a little bit more if you could tell me the difference between the men and the women rituals. Why it's so separate and...
Well, this is different depending on the cult and depending on the ethnic. The Michogo, they have only one men's ceremony, which is speaking about the vision and dancing also, but there's no possession songs. And the women's ceremony is always with possession songs and much concentrated on dancing, on doing possession songs. And healing, yes. It is also told that the men's ceremony is more for vision and the women's ceremony more for healing. But this is different in other cults, in other ethnies. We know from the Fang ethnic that they have also a women's ceremony, which is like the men's ceremony. There's no much different as far as we know. So this is not really stable in Gabon, and perhaps you could even give more information about other ethnies. You never know everything. This is what we know from our experience.
But maybe one thing which is different, that in the women's ceremony, the women are getting the first night they should perform a procession trance without iboga, and then they're getting a small, what I would call a test dose, but it's less than half a spoon. It's a very, very small dose, and then the next night they're getting the high dose of iboga. The men, they don't get that test dose and they don't fall into possession trance. But it's possible for a man to be initiated in the women's cult. We've just seen this, and okay.
Thank you very much.